Hi, and thank you for joining us for Revolutionary Thursdays, where we discuss testimonies from all around the world about people who have changed the world around them by fearing God and not man. Today we're going to hear a story from a 16-year-old named Yun from mainland China. There is a book that tells us how to get to heaven? Yes, Yun. I've seen it with my own eyes, answered the old man. Where is this book? Asked Yun. I must see it for myself. It is far away, sadly, and it's too far to walk. You have no bicycle. I will go, replied Young. The young man walked the 35 miles to meet with the owner of the Bible. Eventually, he was able to get a Bible of his own. Young then joined with another Christian, and together they went from village to village telling people about Jesus. As this was illegal, the police would often come to stop them. Young came up with a way around this problem. He had read in 1 Samuel 23:13 that David once pretended to be crazy to escape from his enemies. When the police came, Young did the same thing. He made a spectacle of himself. The police laughed at him and let him go. After they were gone, he would become serious again and continue to speak to the people about salvation. Before long, however, Young was cruelly beaten and put in prison for his faith. Afterwards, he had to stand a public trial in the marketplace. Young was small and thin. He was dressed in rags and barefoot, his face deformed from the beatings. The judge said to him, "We will give you one last chance to save your life. If you leave the underground church and join the Free Self-Patriotic Church, we will make you one of its leaders." Young remained silent. He knew the government church worked closely with the communists and often turned house church Christians in to be imprisoned or beaten. The judge brought in a doctor who said to him sarcastically, "I will heal your dumbness." The doctor forced needles under Young's fingernails. When he passed out, the policeman walked on his body, saying your stubbornness led to this. He was brought back to a cell where he had other prisoners urinate on him. His only treasure was a thin tin cup which he had painted a cross. This was thrown into the toilet. Weeping, he fished it out and pressed it to his heart. Young fasted, praying for the Chinese churches, his fellow inmates, and himself. He was finally released after 10 years, still strong in faith and refusing any compromise with the world or with the government-supported church. Pastor Li Dizan from mainland China said, "Humanly speaking, we know that no one likes to suffer physically. But I know that if the Lord leads me into it, he will give me the strength to survive it." In 1 Corinthians, Paul says God deliberately chose the things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are so wise, so that no one can ever boast in the presence of God. As the scripture says, the person who wishes to boast should boast only of what the Lord has done. This is what truth does. It shines light in the darkness. And once you've been exposed to the light, you'd rather risk your life than to go back into darkness. Can you imagine finding a truth so freeing that you will walk over 35 miles just to have the book that holds that truth? Death is much sweeter to me with the testimony of truth than life with the least denial, said Galasium. He was martyred in San Anglo, Italy in the Middle Ages. One common theme that all the martyrs of Jesus have in common is that they're not concerned about saving their own lives. They're more concerned about God saving those who are torturing them. This culture that we live in only understands heroism, but we don't understand martyrs. We don't understand those that are willing to hold fast to a truth even when their life is on the line.